Good morning. We're on take 2. I have a feeling there will be a take 3. I hope not. Okay, I was turning the other video on, and I won't tell you which. I won't tell you which video I was turning on because I have a bunch banked. And I realized I've recorded something about area terrain and I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. It's probably on my computer somewhere, but maybe the audio is messed up and it's no good. Okay, so these are the area terrains that I made for my Nova board. Okay, get even closer. Get even closer and more out of focus. Come on, you can do it, camera. All right, so you can see there's like roots, rocks and stuff. These are my little forest area terrains. These are the trees that I had printed. They're lousy. I didn't have time to sand them or like, it's great for like trees, right? Like all we do is fight print lines, right? It's the nature of the beast. And you can see them in here. This is not, this is not what you want to see. It looks fine on the tabletop. Like I'm not here to make you feel bad if you're not like sanding like a maniac, kind of like I do. You get a little acrylic paste on a brush and like let that dry, and it'll like add some bark texture and hide all that stuff. I didn't have time. Remember, I was trying to get ready for the big tournament, local tournament. So I had to get done. So I didn't have time. And remember, I have like a very brown and pink and tan board, like the mat that I picked from P-Work War Games. So I kind of wanted to match the colors of that, and so I wanted my trees to stand out. So I went with this very pale, creamy white tree. I may do tops for these that are like kind of pink and real poppy. That might be cool at some point, but again, didn't have time. So for now, they're just barren. But it looks cool, right? There's some good contrast with the mat. They stand out. That's all nice. Great. Okay. So I knew I wanted these to be forests to contrast with the crystals. Big green crystals, white, cream, tan forests with the pink kind of in the base. The pink is Warlord purple mixed, with everything. The rest is just folk art for painting them, like the cheap craft paints. Cheap craft paints, and then just kind of like wet blend it all together with a sponge. Just get it brown and then add stuff until it looks fine, and then dry brush a little light gray or whatever. Okay, but in order to make this look like forest, like normally I would just glue sand down and like paint them muddy colored, and then they could be whatever. They could be forest, they could be rock fields of big jagged rocks, they could be trash, they could be whatever, right? But I kind of like when it's themed a little bit. It kind of tells the story a little bit better, but you want to keep it playable, right? You don't want to like put a bunch of bushes and grass and stuff down and then nothing sits straight. Like that's lousy. So there's always this tension with area terrain, which is really good for Legion. Like you want the cover one, right? And you want difficult space um, to pay off scale and jump and all those cool keywords, right? So roots is a cool way to do area terrain and make it look like a forest that's relatively easy, but it seems like it would be a nightmare. So I'm here to tell you what I did. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is figure out how you're going to do it. So are you going to sculpt it? Like green stuff, that'd be kind of pricey. It'd be a pain. Green stuff's such a pain. It takes so long to dry. I hate it. Sculpey, more economical. It's cheaper for a big old brick. But then you gotta bake them, then you gotta glue them back down, like keeping it all flat the whole time, like that's hard. Okay, so what I did was hot glue gun. This is like the $2 hot glue gun from Michaels. It's probably $12 now. Let's, I just work here, man. Don't complain to me. Okay, so hot glue gun, just a regular cheap hot glue. This thing is terrible. I have a couple of them. They're great. They're terrible. They're great. Who's this person? Okay, so all you do is after you cut out your MDF, you can get MDF is medium density fiberboard. You could get this at the hardware store. They make like little craft sheets that are like 2x2 or 1x2. Or in this case, I got these. They were like packaging at the corners of like some furniture I bought online. It had all these strips of stuff, and I was like, oh, and I just kept it all, which is great because it's like already kind of like 5 inches tall or whatever in one direction, which is really good size for Legion. Just the way movement works. 5 is like nice. So I have a couple little ones like this. A couple little ones. I have a couple bigger ones, but they all look basically the same. So I'm not showing you all of them. And then what you do is you take the hot glue gun and you just put some roots down. Right? Like gentle on the trigger. Like get it hot and then just gentle. Start real skinny, then press more and then let off slow. So you get kind of like a skinny, thick, skinny, like it's coming up out of the ground and then going back under the ground. Right? And so you do that, do a bunch. Stop, let it dry, let it cool off. Then go back and do it again. And that's how you can overlap them. Then you can start doing overlaps. Oh, get in frame, you moron. Okay, see? Overlap stuff. Overlap stuff. That really sells it as like old and overgrown. And then you just plonk a tree on top. Right? Okay, so I do the hot glue roots. Then you put your PVA in the middle. Use a little toothpick or a sculpting tool or whatever, spread it around. Pour your sand on top like normal. And just paint it. Just paint it with your craft paint. That's it, not rocket science, but like, and the spreading of the glue takes a little bit longer, but it's like, you know, instead of being a 60-second project, it's a 3-minute project. Oh no. Right? But the payoff is, it's way cooler for area terrain. And this isn't too much relief, right? Like dudes can sit up here just fine. Here's Armless Din. I got his sculpted, I put the gun back in the holster, sculpted a little thing, carved out of styrene. It's good enough. It's not perfect, it's good enough. Try to get him assembled by Thursday. I'm not gonna get him painted. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. Okay. So that's that. That's area terrain. I had a video for this. I maybe did this video twice. I don't know what I did with it. Cool area terrains. Let's look at the roots on this one. This one's pretty cool. There's some longer ones. And look, man, weather people have like, they're smart. They can handle the Twilight Zone. I cannot handle this Twilight Zone thing. There you go, roots. Yeah, the original premise for the Twilight Zone was what happens if your brain doesn't flip the inverted image from the back of your retina around. That was the Twilight Zone. Right? Because the light goes into your eye, it gets flipped by the lens, and so the picture on the back of your eye is actually upside down. Then your brain fixes it. Fixes it. Does it really? You would never know. It would just, the world would just be upside down to you. Twilight Zone. See? Okay, so I'm doing this thing with the mirror, with the camera, where I'm just using Windows' little stupid camera thing to capture this instead of Camtasia. Camtasia, I can do a mirror image, and it makes me slightly less of an idiot in terms of like pointing at things. But right now, full idiot. Most of the time, full idiot. Okay, so that's area terrain. Cool. These are just from my mini factory. Can't remember where I got them. I can't remember if I said that. This is take 2. It's terrible when you can't. Like, I don't know what I've said. What are we doing here? I'm kidding. That's the tip for today. Good luck. Happy modeling. Have some sweet tables with sweet area terrain. It's good for the game. And maybe good for your soul. I don't know.